Hi, my name is April Sheldorf, and the charity that I decided to choose was Yavapai Food Council. This was an easy choice for me because the topic in general really hits home for me. I was one of those families who got the box of canned goods for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Um, and when I was a kid, for me, it was embarrassing because I just figured that, everybody else's family was able to have like their own provided meal, and my family just couldn't do it. But I know, looking back and being an adult now, how much it meant to my mom, single mom with 5 kids, and she was working from sun up to sundown trying to provide everything she could for us. But at the end of the day, that's 5 mouths you got to feed, and you don't always have the means to do that on a single budget. So places like Yavapai Food Council are a godsend for people who really need the help. Here in the Verde Valley alone, the population about 65,000 people, about 15,000 of those people need food. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. They really need the help with figuring out how they're going to eat next. Some parents literally will not eat for days just to make sure their kid is going to eat. And I feel like something as simple as food, people shouldn't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, or if they're going to eat, or if what they're going to eat is even going to be nutritious enough to keep them healthy. So it's places like Yavapai Food Council that really help people and give them hope that people actually still care in a world that's going to complete materialistic things and being so vain about everything that's coming, technology, all the other stuff that's coming about, that people still care about the basic stuff. It's really hard coming from a background that you didn't know where your next food was coming from, to see people waste food and throw food out and stuff. It's really hard for me to see people do that because there's families who would kill to have those leftovers, who don't get that opportunity to even have leftovers. So this really does hit home for me in a lot of ways. So it was easy for me to pick this subject and to actually research about it. The one thing I didn't know was 1 in 4 people that you're walking by on the streets, people you work with, I mean, anybody, it's anyone. 1 in 4 people go through food distress. They just don't know where they're going to get their next meal. 1 in 3 of those people are children, and that's awful. A child should enjoy being a child, not worrying about where their next meal is coming from, if at all. I know I was one of those kids who sat at the lunch table alone without any food and seeing all the other kids eating. I mean, they might have called it gross cafeteria food, but it looked like Thanksgiving meal to me, and I just suffered in silence. And being a kid suffering in silence about food is a very hard burden to bear, but it makes you grow up to be very lucky and thankful for what you do get and what you are able to earn. So, looking back, I wouldn't have changed anything. Um, and I do credit a lot, like Yavapai Food Council, getting me and my family through such heartaches. They really help. It's really awesome. And there's a lot of things that I didn't know about Yavapai Food Council, that they keep their donations going. If you can't afford like a cash donation, I mean, they obviously take canned food goods, they take non-perishable items. The one cool thing I found out was that they maintain community gardens in schools, out in the community, anywhere. They maintain gardens for fruits and vegetables, and then they harvest the fruits and vegetables, and they'll turn around and donate that. So they also encourage like people who want to get involved, who want to volunteer, they encourage people to maintain their own private gardens. So if you don't want to go out to the community and tend their big garden, you can have a tiny little garden that has like just tomatoes or something, and you can donate whatever you have for that, and you can donate it to them, and they'll give it to families who will treat it like it's gold. So it's whatever effort you're going to put forth is not wasted, and I think that's pretty awesome. Another thing that Yavapai Food Council does is because like I said, there's kids at school who don't know where they're going to eat. They, you know, they can't pack a school like a lunch from home. They can't afford the meals that they serve at school. So a lot of schools have programs where you either get discounted or free meals for children if you qualify, which most people who are in food distress automatically do qualify. Um, and then what they also do is like even during the summer, they'll have programs where kids can come and eat. I've seen it for breakfast and lunch. It's free. If you need it, you go and you get it, which is pretty awesome. Um, I remember participating in that too because a meal's a meal. If it's free, it's even better. Um, and honestly, food is food. And when you need food, you're not, beggars can't be choosers. And usually beggars aren't choosers. They're very thankful for what people are willing to donate. So it's pretty awesome that not everybody's in my retrospect heartless. They care in a world that's gone to some scary times. There's still hope. Um, so it's very touching to know that people are still gonna do whatever it takes to help people out. And for me and my family, that box of vegetables that kids didn't want, they thought were gross, and they just didn't want it. They were gonna toss it out if they weren't gonna donate it. That was literally our present under the Christmas tree. That was pretty much it. And then like even for Thanksgiving, that was our thing to be thankful for. Like other than family, of course, those donated items was treasure for us. So it's really amazing. Um, Something like Yavapai Food Council, they keep going. And I don't really see them ever having an end game because everybody's going to need food. And they need somewhere to go to not feel embarrassed or ashamed that they can't provide necessarily the same amount of food that other families would. They just want to make sure that their family's taken care of. So it meant the Yavapai Food Council means a lot, I'm sure, to a lot of people, but I know I can speak on personal reference, knowing that it really did help me and my family. And we grew up to be thankful for what we get and for what we earn. And it's just one of those amazing charities that you can never really thank fully because of what they do and how much it means to people. So that is my speech on the charity Yavapai Food Council. I enjoyed the class. I enjoyed the course. I look forward to continuing my degree in this subject. And I guess that's it. All right.